I'm Cheryl Allison. I'm the director of Hiding in Daylight, and we had our world premiere last night, and it went fabulously. Yes, it was really great.
Tell us a little bit about your project.
Okay, well, Hiding in Daylight is a film about a gay purge that has happened in America. And there's two couples. There's a male couple and a female couple, and they have to marry each other and live in fake marriages in order to survive in this new horrific world that they are now having to live in. And so the film takes place over one evening, and the couples get together once a week to reminisce and just pretend everything is back to the way it used to be. And what happens is you start to see the friendships unravel, the strain on the couples start to unravel, and the tension in the house, and just for living this way for 3 years. And so they have to make a very difficult decision and decide, should they continue meeting or risk their lives. And it gets very dramatic. I don't want to give the ending away, but it really shows the difficult situation that happens when a marginalized group is suppressed.
Are y'all planning on doing this in big distribution, or is it film festivals?
Well, we just started our film festival run. This was our world premiere. And so we hope to be in many, festivals around the world. And then absolutely, we will seek distribution for online platforms, whether that be Amazon, Netflix, different streaming services, because we want to get the message out there about this film. Because as I mentioned, it's a fiction narrative short, but it has a reality because there are members of the gay community throughout the world that this is actually happening to. In Chechnya, in Russia, there has been a big gay purge where they have imprisoned and tortured numerous people from the LGBTQ community, and specifically gay men. And they've been murdered and tortured. And it's also happened in Tanzania. They've just released a statement, I think it was about a month ago, where they said they were going to crack down on homosexuality in their country. And our American embassy even sent out a warning to Americans over there and said, if you're gay, leave the country. If you have a Facebook profile or a digital footprint that any way can connect you to being gay, take it down. So it's very frightening that this is happening throughout the world, and our film shows that if we're complacent, it could happen here. If we set our film in 1943, it would be a reality, just like the Holocaust. So it's important for us to continue to try to get the message out there.
Did you write this and direct it?
I directed it, and we had a wonderful writer. Gregory G. Allen is our screenplay, and he wrote the story and the screenplay. And he was inspired politically, what had been happening within our own country, some of the hate crimes you're seeing occurring, and also because of the news he had read about in Chechnya, and that fueled him to kind of focus this constructive fury he had into art, because so much activism happens through art, and that's what inspired him. And he actually has even made this bigger than a film. He had started out as a play, and he hopes to get it produced in New York and in regional theaters. And so when I read the script, I've been friends with him for 30 years, I said, Greg, this is fantastic, and I think it could be a film as well. I said, let's start it with a short film. I said, can you edit this down to 15 pages? And my goodness, he did. And it was a phenomenal script. And so we shot it over a weekend in September in New York, and then went through post-production quickly through October, got it done because we wanted to get it out. And here we are.
Have you worked on other projects before?
I have. I produced a short film called Far From the Tree. I did not direct that one. I starred in it. I was one of the leading roles in that. And it had a wonderful, successful festival run. We were in, I think it was like 23 film festivals, won over 26 awards. It had to do with a sexual assault. So as you can see, some of the films I do are films that have a important subject, and usually a subject where there's a stigma around it that gets people talking. So that was a successful one. And then I've been in other projects, other films. I was in a feature film called No Letting Go, which dealt with mental illness. It was based on a true story, and I played the mother of 3 boys, and my middle son started to suffer from mental illness. So that film did very well throughout the festivals, and because of that, it received distribution. So it's on Amazon Prime, and it's been on cable and all of that, so you can, anyone who's listening can see that movie. So I really choose and like to work on projects, at this stage of my career that I feel very passionately about, that has a social cause and awareness, because I think that that is so important, and that's what art can be used for.
You sound like you have a lot of ideas. Do you have one brewing now?
Well, you know what? I do. I am going to start, we're in pre-production right now on a documentary that I'm going to be directing. The working title is called Pieces of Us, and it has to do with assaults that have happened within the gay community. And we'll be following a couple of gentlemen that have had some horrific assaults happen to them, and then what they did to take something that devastating and turn it into good, and what they have done now to give back to the community, to heal themselves, and to give back to others. So I'm excited about that, and I just finished a feature documentary that I directed, just finished post-production like 2 weeks ago, called Shatter the Silence. And it was inspired by the Me Too movement. And when that was happening, this big national reckoning for women, I thought, well, okay, this is great. It's happening on the national level, but what is happening in our communities? Because grassroots change starts at the community level. So I live in Dallas. I'm a native Texan, born and raised, and after many years living in New York and LA, I moved back to Dallas, and I thought, what is my own community doing here? What do our politicians say about this? What do our ministers say? Our teachers, students, social workers. And so I reached out to interview several different community leaders and people within Dallas, and they said, count me in. And they talked about it, and there's initiatives going on at the community level to help bring forth conversation and change at the legislative level. So former Texas Senator Wendy Davis is in the film. She's a prominent voice. So I'm very excited to get that film out, because even though it focuses on Dallas, it has a universal appeal because it could be anyone's community, and it's an important subject to talk about. So,
What festival are you heading to after this one?
well, we don't know for Hiding in Daylight right now, because this is our first one. So we've just started to start this process. So we're hoping that we'll be in several more. And then Shatter the Silence is going to have its world premiere at the USA Film Festival in Dallas, and that will be in April. So I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
A lot going on, but it's all good. And, just trying to, I guess, pay it forward, make a little bit of a difference. And if it touches one person, there was a wonderful woman last night at our screening who came up to me afterwards, and she lives here in Mississippi, and she thanked me for the film. She asked me to thank our writer Greg for writing it, because she is a gay woman here in Mississippi, and she feels alone a lot and feels like she's always having to fight some of the laws, the state laws that are in place that hurt the LGBTQ community. So our film really touched her, and she's already following the page, and she shared it. And and I told her, I said, I think there's strength in numbers, so it helps her feel a little less alone, and that we're all in this together. And that's the purpose of this film. If we can touch one person, it sounds corny, but it's the truth, right? So it gets me emotional. But that was what was so great about this festival. And to be here, because it's a wonderful festival, and the reputation is so stellar with this festival. It's really known as one of the best, and they're tough to get into, and that's why, And so I was just ecstatic. I drove 8 hours in the rain to get here. That's how happy I was. So.